The world of that time I got reincarnated as a slime is honestly so diverse, and to continue my series in breaking down the various races, today's video will be covering the best doggos of the Tempest Federation, the Dire Wolves, or also known later as the Tempest Wolves. As usual, I'll be covering aspects such as their origin, history, culture, and many more. And because I will be discussing about topics from the light novel, here's a spoiler warning just in case. Also, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like or maybe consider subscribing, it really helps. Now then, before I talk about the Dire Wolves found in the Tensura world, what is the general concept behind Dire Wolves in fantasy? To explain, dire wolves were not something that only appear in fantasy and fiction. In fact, they used to roam across the Americas and Eastern Asia between 250,000 and 13,000 years ago. And despite what you might think when picturing a dire wolf in a fictional setting, being gigantic monstrous beasts with powerful fangs that can rip through a human being, real-life ones were actually less fantastical with a proportion and size closer to a modern American wolf. But despite that, many of their real-world features were still adopted into various works of fiction such as Game of Thrones or Dungeons and Dragons, albeit they are depicted in a more exaggerated way like being larger, stronger and faster, while also sometimes adding a hint of supernatural element into them, which helps to make them appear more intimidating and formidable. And aside from a physical standpoint, dire wolves often serve as symbols as well, like to show loyalty, the wild untamed aspects of nature or the connection between humanity and the natural world. This is something that can be seen through various media, and it gives them a more sensational aspect as opposed to their real-life counterparts. So when we talk about the dire wolves in Tensura, they certainly do take on some of the classic characteristics found in other sources, but Fuse definitely made its own versions much more unique when it comes to other aspects. For instance, dire wolves are often portrayed as nothing more than simple animals in most fantasy series, whereas in Tensura, they have actual sentience and are capable of thought and speech, even being able to devise strategies and tactics in combat. This gives the Tensura version a more nuanced feeling and makes them feel more distinct. Having said that, let's get into what makes the dire wolves in Tensura so unique and how they came to exist in the world. To start, unlike most of the races found in the world, dire wolves were not actually created through the experimentations of the ancestor Twilight Valentine, rather they are natural-born animals. What I mean by this is that dire wolves were considered to be magic beasts, a term that refers to monsters that are closely related to or have evolved from animals, and to become a magic beast, the animal has to either be exposed to or infused with magic hues. That's why the ancestors of the dire wolves were likely just normal wolves that come into contact with magic hues. Also, because dire wolves possess magic hues within them, they were far stronger and larger than a normal wolf. They even manifested intrinsic skills such as keen smell, thought communication, and coercion, although under certain conditions like being exposed to magic hues of different nature or consuming something unique, they can acquire other skills as well. Now, despite being classified as a magic beast, dire wolves were actually far more intelligent than other monsters that fall under this category, being able to communicate, have complex thoughts, and understand about various general ideas of the world. The only explanation I can think of that gives dire wolves this inherent advantage over other magic beasts was likely their diet, because normally a magic beast would simply consume meat or plant materials similar to that of a normal animal. However, for dire wolves, they don't require any food and they will instead supplement their diet with just magic hues, which was why they were also classified as mystic beasts, a subcategory of the magic beasts. This was why, despite a single dire wolf only possessing a threat level of rank C, their intelligence and magical nature allowed them to understand the need for cooperation and function as a single cohesive unit, so when they are in the pack, their threat levels can increase to around rank B, give or take, and with the existence of an alpha, they became quite a fearsome enemy as well. With that explained, dire wolves were quite common in the world, and there wasn't actually a specific habitat that belonged to the race, since they usually just travel around with their packs to seek out locations rich in magic hues. But there were cases where a pack of dire wolves would simply stay in a fixed location, and in those cases, sometimes it would spawn regional variants depending on the environment. For example, in volcanic regions, they would take on the fire attribute, turning their fur red, while in forest areas, they would take on the earth attribute, having their fur become green, or near bodies of water, they would take on the attribute of water and their fur would turn blue. There was also a subspecies called the black dire wolf. They are fully magic oriented and they don't have a specific attribute, but they were considered to be the most dangerous. So the versatility and adaptability of the dire wolf race likely came from the biological makeup of their body, or the fact that their diet or consuming magic hues might have some impact on this trait as well. But moving on, despite the variants, we will only be focusing on Ranga's pack, and before the events of the anime, his pack had actually called the plains located to the east of the Great Jura Forest their home. The alpha of the pack was his father, and they stayed around this area mainly because they wanted to enter the rich grain fields belonging to the Eastern Empire. Their objective was to consume the magically rich area so that the pack can evolve into Calamity-class monsters, but the Imperial army was too powerful and they eventually had to give up on their plans. However, simply consuming merchants were not enough for the direwolves, so they wanted to relocate into the Great Jura Forest, but the dreadful magical force of the Storm Dragon Valdra had prevented them from entering. That's why when Valdra's presence had disappeared, the Alpha decided to take over the forest with his pack, and this would then lead to the events at the Goblin Village. The Alpha's plan was to first destroy the various Goblin villages to establish a foothold within the forest, only then they'll expand their territory by hunting the other inhabitants. But as we all know, the direwolves chose the wrong Goblin village to attack and they were subsequently pushed back by Rimuru Tempest. The Alpha was even decapitated and consumed by Rimuru, who also took on the Alpha's form. And if you did not know, the pelt of the Alpha was actually turned into the scarf that Rimuru was often seen wearing in the anime. Talk about brutal and sending a message. Anyways, only around 80 direwolves were left after the battle, and following the belief survival of the fittest, they all submitted to Rimuru and became part of the Goblin village. They would form pairs with the Hobgoblins as well, and this would become the basis for the soon-to-be established Goblin Riders. Rimuru then chose the son of the deceased Alpha to serve as the new direwolf leader and named him Ranga, which is a combination of the Japanese character for Storm and Fang. This allowed not just Ranga to evolve but his entire pack as well, because direwolves were all connected as one and his name had essentially become the name of the entire pack. After the naming, the direwolves were able to evolve into Tempest Wolves, while Ranga himself evolved into a Star Wolf, which is the next evolutionary stage after a Tempest Wolf, although his pack did eventually evolve into this level as well when Ranga again evolves into a Tempest Star Wolf. More on that later. Now starting with the Tempest Wolf, they still look like a normal direwolf, but many of their existing traits were greatly improved. They were stronger and larger in size, although they can willingly alter their sizes. Their speed and stamina were better as well. They can run at speeds of around 80 to 100 km per hour for more than 3 hours without needing to rest, and many of their intrinsic skills have been improved. Furthermore, thanks to their inherent adaptability, the entire pack took on the Storm element of Valdra, which meant that they can use skills such as Black Lightning. Other than that, the Tempest Wolves had also acquired the skill Shadow Motion, and this ability was actually first discovered by Gopta. He later taught the skill to the other Hobgoblins, although the prerequisite was that the Tempest Wolf and their rider had to form a strong relationship and bond with each other. To explain how the skill works, Shadow Motion basically lets the user harness shadows to move from point A to point B in the shortest time possible, ignoring all obstacles in between, although they can only travel in a straight line and the range depends on the user. Also, the Tempest Wolves can activate or use the skills by themselves and require the presence of the Hobgoblin partners. And regarding the threat level of a Tempest Wolf, B rank is their new grade. So for the Star Wolf, they're the next evolutionary stage of the Tempest Wolf, and there isn't much difference to their previous form other than having many of their existing traits I mentioned just now being strengthened. Their threat levels were also roughly the same, but when paired with an experienced and seasoned Hobgoblin, their grade can easily be a B+ or even the A rank. However, for a Star Wolf leader like Ranga, it seems that they gain some additional unique physical traits, such as having a star-shaped birthmark appear on his forehead and growing a magnificent-looking horn. That said, when it comes to a normal Star Wolf, Shadow Motion was no longer restricted to the Hobgoblin partners and they can now freely use the skill. Additionally, the speed of Shadow Motion was increased as well, being almost faster than the speed of sound, but when compared to users like Sova and Ranga, a normal Star Wolf was still slower. Regardless, the Star Wolves were able to gain additional skills from the Voice of the World like the extra skill fusion after Rimuru's Harvest Festival. This ability allows the Star Wolves to partially fuse with their partners to increase their overall combined strength and they take on a centaur-like appearance. But that wasn't all. There was a stronger evolved version of this skill called Transformation, and it was one of the sub-skills of Gopta's own unique skill. When Gopta uses the skill, he's able to integrate and completely fuse with his own Star Wolf partner to essentially transform into a werewolf. He can even perform this fusing with Ranga as well to further increase their own combat capabilities and strength. Currently, Gopta is the only one that has access to this ability, and the majority of the times, Ranga will be the one to serve as his fusing partner. In any case, the preceding evolution after the Star Wolf is called the Tempest Star Wolf, and it seems that in order to unlock this form, one has to first possess the desire to pursue a greater, more powerful form, while also being exposed to and absorbing a certain amount of magic use for a period of time. Ranga is currently the only known Tempest Star Wolf, and he managed to evolve thanks to his desire to become stronger, and he was also constantly exposed to Rimuru's magic use. So at this level, the Tempest Starwolf is said to possess very high physical capabilities. Their size can grow to around 5 meters tall. They have stronger enhanced claws and fangs that are deadly sharp, but what stands out was the 2 horns, which can allow for more refined control of magical attacks. Additionally, they have an estimated threat level that range between the A to S rank. Furthermore, more of the Storm Elemental property will be unlocked as well, like Ranga using Death Storm to create powerful thunderstorm-infused tornadoes to decimate the Orc army during the Orc disaster incident. The ability of Shadow Motion was improved as well. They can now ignore all obstacles and simply teleport to their desired locations. Now besides that, the Tempest Starwolf also had the ability to create familiars or duplicates called Star Leaders, and they have a threat level of rank A-, being somewhat stronger than an average Starwolf. They can be controlled directly by Ranga or be sent to serve as commanders to help lead the pack. Ranga demonstrated this ability during Walpurgis when he fought Ninehead, one of Claimant's 5 fingers, and it seems that after Remove's Harvest Festival, the Star Leaders had evolved into Tempest Starwolves as well. But anyways, during the Eastern Empire invasion, Ranga was tasked by Remove to assist Gupta and the Goblin Riders in combating the Imperial Magic Tank Division. They managed to defeat all the enemy forces, and as a reward, Ranga was given 100,000 souls and the title of Star Lord by Remove. This allowed Ranga to fully awaken into the true Demon Lord, finally achieving divinity to become a spiritual being, and he was able to evolve into a Divine Wolf, also known as the Spirit Wolf, the final evolution for his race. This also meant that he now has an immortal body and his ego is strong enough to receive an ultimate level skill, so he has given the ultimate skill Stellar Winking Hastu by the Mana Seal, unlocking his full potential to utilize the Storm element. Furthermore, his entire pack was able to receive his blessing as well, and even though it wasn't explicitly stated in the light novel, I like to believe that his pack has managed to evolve into Tempest Starwolves as well. With that said, this was all the information we have on the Divine Wolf evolution, but hopefully in the upcoming volumes, we'll learn more about it and maybe some additional information about his pack. So yeah, that's everything on Ranga's race, how they came to exist, their traits and all the evolutionary stages. Now even though I enjoy seeing Ranga getting the spotlight most of the time, I did wish they would give us some more time to his pack and let us learn more about them, but regardless, the Dire Wolf race was definitely interesting and quite unique as compared to the other races found in Tensura. But what about you? Do you find that race interesting and what's your favorite aspects about them? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button if you want more breakdowns like this in the future. Thanks for watching and as always, stay safe everyone.